it's my fault. I didn't notice it was out of place. You painted fairy tales on the wall, calling to the better of the halves of me. Please show me just a little bit of honesty. I'd hope I got a heart that I can salvage, but it's getting harder now to recall. I know well what let out both dry. You could have anything you wanted it all for your fool's gold. And I know well why deaf and half blind. You could get anything you wanted. Yeah, I would have handed it all over, falling for you. Only the fall for you.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another wonderful round. We're with Vortex Racing League, folks, and this time we're at the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo Idino Ferrari, also known as Imola. Let's take a look at the race calendar, see where we've been and where we're gonna be going coming up in the near future. Done and dusted are Australia, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and Miami. Now it's time to go to Italy. Then we're headed to Spain, Canada, Austria, Great Britain. Then in March, we're going to start things off in Belgium, Spa-Francorchamps, Hungary, Netherlands, United States, and Mexico. Right now in the team standings for the Constructors' Championship, it's Reese BFR and Papa Green and Alpine leading with 138 points. Red Bull in P2, Kick Sauber in third, Aston Martin in fourth, and Haas rounding out your top five. In the driver's standing, it's Reese VRL for P1 with 81 points, Papa Green in P2, McLaren in third, Buki in fourth, Manila Man in fifth, and that'll round out your top five. The rest of the drivers up on the board just as close as ever. Watching a few drivers out on track right now do their darndest, and there goes Papa Green through the chicane. Obviously trying to shave off as much time as possible for this qualifying run, but that's not the way to get it cut and done. Now he's going to head down pit road and end this qualifying session for himself, at least for now, let's say. Manila Man also in the pits. Will McSpeed come down pit road? It will be that time for the drivers to all get a new change of boots and hit the track again. The Aston Martin of SD Buki is out on track. 1:16.792 is their personal best. Quick change of things for a lot of the drivers. Yellow in Sector 3. Sinead, I believe, is a new driver to this championship, taking part in the Ferrari team, it looks like. Currently 2.6 off the good. Are they out there to improve? Looking neat and tidy through Aqua Minerale, but could always use a little bit more curbing through the double right-hander. And the attack through Variante Alta, the high chicane. Again, attack of the sausages. It looks like the car is set up well. Can Sinead improve their time? It's a 107, 108 now. It doesn't look like they'll be finding a personal best this time around. That will be a pit stop call for Sinead through Sector 3. Looking down the order, now at its domain, who's 3.8 off the good. It's domain 3.9 up through sector 2, so not that great now. I presume a lot of the drivers are just resting up for a little bit, waiting for the track to evolve, and then we'll attack going into the final few moments of the qualifying session. And its domain comes in as well. Gunslinger. The attack into Aquaminarale. Ooh, and a little bit of traction loss getting on throttle. Sends him nearly for a spin. And that'll be it for Gunslinger's attempt right now. Going over to Manila Man, who will be on an outlap, or is this a flyer? This is a flyer for Manila. We were talking to Manila and a few of the other drivers throughout the practice session, and we're just hearing a little bit about the setups and the setup differences. Manila Man really likes an understeery setup, so I expect his times to vary quite a bit, and you can see him attack a lot of those curbs there, and you can see how much input he's putting into the wheel, especially when we go to the onboard camera here. Let's see what it looks like coming into the Vatsa 1. There's just almost 90-degree lock there, and in the Vatsa 2, you got to open up the wheel a little bit and use all of that exit curbing that's available. Manila Man just 9/10 down, turns it up, and puts him half a second back from Papa Green, who's 14.8. is holding good for that provisional pole right now. And this will be a regeneration lap for Manila Man. SD Buki to the line, only finds P5. Looks like Reese, is the driver who slips it into third position. 1.1 now off the good from Papa Green. SD Buki only 1/10 off the good through sector 1. How do they navigate Piratella? This is very important. The two most important corners here on this track are the Pirates corner and Aqua Minerale. And using all of the curbing that's available to you without treading on Italy is very important, as Aston Martin crimes are nearly committed there. Oh, and a slick drift through the high chicane. SD Buki definitely pushing right now. And Ravazza 1 all the way out to the exit curbing for the entry to Ravazza 2 is imperative, and that'll be an in-lap action for SD Buki. Nolan and Reese VFR headed back out on track, checking back in with Reese. This is his build-up lap, it looks like. Or an in-lap. Just kidding. Reese to prove me wrong. Ian Mack, 50-82-12. Driving the Williams car. Of course, equal machinery being used here with the Vortex Racing League, but still, the teams do matter. Ian Mack coming down pit road over to its domain. A lot of the drivers not using all of the curbing here. I wonder if that's a technique that's just unfamiliar in F1, as most of my experience comes from sports car racing. So GTs and sports cars, not open wheelers. I wonder if the tolerances of the vehicle are just not there to attack these curbings, but they are low. Imola, of course, is a very old circuit, founded in 1953. It's been unchanged since 1994 in Bologna, Italy. We have 19 corners, 8 to the right, 11 to the left. So this is a very old school track. It's even been unchanged since 1994. Now, Imola is obviously infamous for the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix, where Ayrton Senna and Roland Ratzenberger lost their lives in tragic crashes. And this led to major safety reforms in Formula One. Obviously, changes to the track needed to be made. We've lost the chicane at Variante Bassa, named after Dino Ferrari, honoring Enzo Ferrari's son. It no longer exists, but we still have Variante Bassa that does exist, the first turn here at the Imola circuit. So, changes evolved due to safety? Yes. Changes evolved due to just changes being made at Imola? No. This is a very old school flowy circuit. It became a permanent circuit from public roads. So it explains all of the flows and undulations and feels to the racetrack here. And it just expresses how much importance it is to race. Sorry about the slight technical hiccup, folks, but we are back. Half a second separates Papa Green and Manila Man at the top of the chart. Both of them out on track currently. Can Manila Man throw it down and get pole position? He's using a lot of that curbing that I like to see coming through Acqua Minerale. How does he handle the high chicane? He attacks a lot of curb there. He's looking pretty good. Let's see what the sector time displays. And this is actually going to be a lap from Manila Man. He punches it to the line. 1:15.098. He's 2 tenths down now from Papa Green. Oh my goodness. Now is Papa Green out there looking to improve? Let's go on board through the high chicane. And this will actually be an in-lap for Papa Green, it looks like. Left of this qualifying session. Sinead retires from the session, so good enough with P7 here. Let's do an onboard lap with the driver in P1, Papa Green, all the way over to the right-hand side. Use as much of that entry as humanly possible. Cut over and mount that spur chicane as much as possible, and then run it all the way down to the next chicane, Tamburello. And then Variante Villeneuve, all the way out to Tosa for turn number 7, where you want to get all the way over to the white painted line, but not touch the green stuff. Obviously, don't tread on Italy here at Imola, otherwise you will get hit with track limits. The Pirates corner, Piratella, attack it with grace, attack it with confidence as well, and Acqua Minerale is the podium of the confidence. You gotta attack it all the way to the inside line, but it looks like Papa Green attacked it a little too much, and we'll loop it around, and that's what happens when you take too much curbing at Acqua Minerale. Reese VRL comes down pit road. Best time, that 1:15.998, just 1.1 back from Papa Green, and that'll be a retirement from the session. Happy with P3 for now. SD Buki still out there. 1 minute and 21 seconds left on the clock here for this qualifying session. And Papa Green done with the session, and the 14.8 will be that provisional pole time unless SD Buki can do anything about it at this point. More retirements coming out for the session, meaning that qualifying is definitely going to conclude possibly when SD Buki crosses the line. Actually, a run down pit road now is Gunslinger going to be putting in a lap. And that'll conclude the qualifying session for good for us here at Imola. The Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari. Folks, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's been a pleasure to be your host. I am Sagar Bakshi, aka The Real High. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff if you want to see more F1 action. We are racing on the F1 2025 platform. And if you like what you see, make sure you get involved with Vortex Racing League. Check them out on Discord. The link is in the description below. Racing every week on Saturdays at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, 4:30 Pacific Standard Time. We get together and start the practice session that runs for about half an hour or so. Then obviously start the race session thereafter. Gunslinger comes into the pits, and that will officially conclude the session for us. And the results will be posted here momentarily, but the car gets jacked up and the nose replaced. Nope. Thought they were going to replace the nose on this McLaren, but no, park for May conditions. Back into the garage. Here we go. The results are official. And officially, no results were posted, apparently. Just EA things. But we will get the starting grid, of course. And we're currently just standing by, waiting for the drivers to get gridded up. We will have a formation lap to review our starting order, of course. And if you're a fan of, excuse me, if you're a fan of the Vortex Racing League and you want to get involved, excuse me, make sure you order a shirt. Contact Reese VRL in the Discord. Make sure you get your size right, your number right, and contact Reese via PayPal and send him over 25 USD and get yourself a Vortex Racing League shirt. I know I ordered mine, number 26 on it. I cannot wait to get that in store. I'm going to check up on the drivers and see if we are gridding out. There we go. We're finally loaded in. And we will get our formation lap underway right now. Papa Green in P1, Manila Man in P2, Reese in P3, Buki in P4, Maverick for Christ in P5, Ian Mack in 6th, Sinead in 7th, Sols in 8th, McSpeed in 9th, It's Dumaine in 10th, Apple CM in 13th position, Gunslinger in 12th, One God, Apple CM, and Said Sue rounding out the 15 participants taking place tonight. And drivers obviously warming up their tires on this outlap here. Trying to generate as much as they possibly can. The run down towards turns 2 and 3. Tamburello, the heavy braking zone leading down into there, is going to be tricky side by side. Expect to see at least one safety car brought out for this event. Hopefully not, though. Oh, we do not. Excuse me, there was no formation lap. That was the official start of the race. Manila Man into the lead. Excuse me. I was so nonchalant about it. We are officially racing Papa Green behind Manila Man. Three tenths down. Now it will be a showcase of who has the greater speed. It's Dumaine in P9 currently, running right in front of him. McSpeed tried to turn in, but it's Dumaine was there. I think McSpeed falls back to P12 now. Yes, he does. 3/10 separate the leaders right now. Sinead in P7, 2/10 back from Ian Mack currently. Check out the positions gained there on the left-hand side of your screen. I think Gunslinger made it out the best. 5 positions gained on the good, and a cut through the chicane for It's Dumaine. Surely results in a slowdown penalty there. Manila Man, fastest lap of the race, 1:18. Papa Green pulls out into the lead of the race, coming down into Viriate Villeneuve. No, that was into Tamburello. Probably the DRS was active coming down the front straightaway, and he just made that setup work in his favor. All drivers onto the medium tires except for One God and Apple CM. Looking at One God right now, detains 4 seconds back. Souls only 8/10 up the road. Beautiful helicam here, brought to you by the F1 EA game. The run into the high chicane looks good. The soft compounds really putting in the work for One God. Papa Green pulls out the fastest lap of the race with a 1:17. Lap 4 of 32 under our belts now. And I can't wait to see the strategies pop up so we can know when the pit window is open. Caution brought out in Sector 3. Will that breed out a safety car? I don't think so. It looks like the race is clear right now. Looking at Reese, who's in 5th position on the race start. Said Sue retiring from the session down into 15th place. That'll be the first retirement of the night. Cautions in Sector 1 and Sector 2. Now we have a 3-car train for P3. Maverick for Christ leading SD Buki and Reese VRL. The Alpine trails the trio. Reese has shown a significant amount of pace in the qualifying session. Now, does that transfer over to race pace? That's the important thing. Does it also translate into consistency across the track? Are you still making those high-risk maneuvers going over the chicanes? And the car is still sliding out, though, from under Reese as he pushes through Variante Villeneuve. He's still quick. He's right behind SD Buki. Let's go on board. Deployed, got a lot of overspeed leading down into the high chicane. It will be an overspeed move done for Reese. VRL gets in front of SD Buki. Battle here between Sinead, Gunslinger, and McSpeed. Sinead able to recover the into P7, stays in front of Gunslinger. McLaren and McLaren on track, occupying the same real estate. This can't be good for team orders. But McSpeed carries the speed through turn one and gets by his teammate Gunslinger. Looking back at Reese, behind Maverick for Christ already. 2/10 down, could find himself onto the podium. The leader is only a little ways up the road. CM gets a 3-second penalty for cutting the track, it looks like. Reese in a little bit of trouble as SD Buki is closing down. But through sector one, it looks like Buki backs off. And Reese is clear to attack, but a little slide through Villeneuve will definitely not help. He keeps on having that same slide through the Villeneuve chicane. And I wonder if that's a throttle application error. Oh no, that's a huge moment for Reese as he slides through Piratella, gets it backed up and turned around in the right direction, but he's gonna tumble down the order right now. Huge moment for Reese now. Switching over to It's Dumain and Gunslinger's battle for P9 and P10. Oh, and the McLaren goes deep at Piratella. Now in the Aqua Minerale, both drivers staying on the tarmac. Gunslinger with a 3-second time penalty for cutting now. That should unleash the Racing Bull out in front. But they're going to go side by side down the hill, breaking indoors. Ravazza 1. The Red Bull has a little bit of overlap, but not enough to demand racing space there. But the Red Bull on exit loses it on throttle. It's Domain loses out a couple of seconds, but Gunslinger is still under threat. Reese falls back down into P9 as I believe he needed a new change of trousers after his spill and thrill. It's Dumain quickly catches back up to the Gunslinger. The Racing Bull versus the McLaren. And everybody getting that little snap of oversteer coming through the Villeneuve chicane. 2.1 the gap between Manila Man and Papa Green, so not much, and anything can be changed with the safety car, obviously. Oh, both drivers going off deep and wide at Aqua Minerale's exit, having drifting moments and code browns. They make it through unscathed, and there goes the Racing Bull on the exit of the corner. Probably had too much steering input, falls back to 1.7 of a second. Of course, Imola has great rooted history in motorsports and racing, home to Formula One, as well as endurance racing that comes here. WEC obviously taking part. And brings a whole new category of racing when you involve sports cars to the racing grid. Keeps towns and tracks alive here in small locations like Bologna, Italy. And of course, the Italians absolutely love the racing. Maverick for Christ, 1 second back from Manila Man. Now have Manila Man's tires fallen off. Something, again, I talked to him about when we were discussing understeery cars, is that tire wear typically becomes higher. Let me explain how that works. So understeery cars means you have to turn the car more to get it to actually comply with where you're trying to point it in the right direction of. So let's say you're turning into a corner, you turn 90 degrees to the left, where you're only turning in about 40 degrees. Well, the tires are scrubbing across the asphalt. Let's actually go on board with Manila Man and see how bad the scrubbing could potentially be, especially here at Aqua Minerale. Not too bad. Now, what about the higher chicane, Variante Alta? Not too bad there either. He's very careful with his steering inputs to not scrub the tires as much as I thought he was. Cautions in Sector 1. It looks like Reese was able to get out in front of its domain. Pit stop call for the rest of the field, as it looks like Manila Man's coming down pit road. Can its domain keep up with the pace in front from Reese VRL? Can Reese drag its domain to a better points paying position tonight? 11 laps under our belt. 11 laps under our belt already. We're already 1/3 of the way done at this point in time. That is absolutely crazy to think about. Pit stop for its domain also. Gonna leave Papa Green, Mounts for Christ, SD Buki, McSpeed, Gunslinger out there on the racetrack, not taking their pit stops yet. So I wonder if some of these guys are trying to push this to a one-stop event, while others are obviously going for a two-stop strategy. Back onto the mediums for its domain. Papa Green and Maverick for Christ in the pit lane at the same time. SD Buki ends up staying out. Papa Green switches over to the hard compound tires. Maverick for Christ stays onto the mediums. Manila Man gets by into the provisional lead of the race. Well, P2, excuse me, as SD Buki is now into the lead of the race. But Manila Man getting a nice undercut on Papa Green. Has a 2.2 second advantage to Green. SD Buki will have to come down to pit road sooner rather than later. Those medium compound tires cannot be feeling great after 11 laps of running. One of the keys to the race here at Imola is obviously don't tread on Italy, avoid track limits at all costs now. And what I mean by that is you can see on the exit curbing, we have red, white, and green lines. That represents the Italian flag. If you cross the red, white, and green lines, you will violate track limits and get a penalty. How do we know who has the penalty and who doesn't? You can see the black and white flag next to each driver's name on the timing tower. That will dictate to us that they have a significant penalty attached to their pit stop. Here's Sinead and Gunslinger into Ravazzo. One, the Ferrari nearly goes into the back of the McLaren, finds a way through. Holy Toledo, and I hope there wasn't collision in that. And Gunslinger comes down into the pits. Papa Green chopping away at that time like a lumberjack. Now 1.5 back from Manila Man. Those hard compounds obviously putting in work for him. Just a little bit more work and he will get the help of the drag reduction system. The DRS will become enabled for Papa Green coming down the front stretch. And there it is, the rear wing opens wide for Papa Green, and he charges forward at Manila Man. The run towards turn one is clean and tidy. What about the entry towards Tamburello? Not an opportunity to attack for Green. Sector 1 and 2 causing cautions now. All of this can be shaken up with a safety car. Again, talking to the drivers, the guesses ranged anywhere from 1 to 5 as many safety cars that we would see, but halfway through this event so far, I don't see any safety cars being called. And barring any major incidences, I don't expect to see a safety car called. And there goes the commentator's curse, and there's a car stopped on track that might bring out the safety car. Gunslinger gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings for breaking track limits again. Here at the high chicane, the Alpine looks fierce and fast. The Red Bull looks slow and defenseless. Manila Man has to put in some pretty stonking lap times. He has the tire advantage for now. He's got to make the mediums work in his favor. SD Buki into pit lane, falls back down into P3. The side-by-side is concluded before we can even discuss it. Papa Green is through at Variante Bassa and into Tamburello. The order has changed. Papa Green in P1, Manila Man in P2, Maverick for Christ still in third, SD Buki down into fourth now. Reese VRL in fifth, McSpeed in sixth, Sinead in seventh, Ian Mack in eighth, It's Dumaine in ninth, and Sulce in 10th. Gunslinger running in 11th, Detains in 12th, Sebsu in 13th, One God in 14th, with Apple CM rounding out the 15 participants tonight. Sinead gets by McSpeed, who's in pit row there. Lap 15, we're officially approaching the halfway point of this race. And right now it's Papa Green in the lead of Manila Man and Maverick for Christ to round out that podium. Let me know who you think's going to win this race, who's going to hop up into the broadcast booth with me to discuss their results. Sinead into the top 10. Healthily driving the first into the top 10 Ferrari. Setsu outside the top 10 with a 3-second penalty right now. 1 minute back from Detains driving the Mercedes. Now I think tire wear is becoming a huge thing for the drivers to have to fare with tonight. Oh my goodness, big drift for Sinead through the Villeneuve chicane. Yes, I definitely think tire wear is something that the drivers, that's affecting them. Cautions brought out in Sector 3 again through Piratella, and now the tires are overheated. It's going to be a lot slower through Aqua Minerale, to say the least. Now it speeds only 1.4 back from Sinead. And I wonder if this breeds an early pit stop for Sinead. They'll bring out either the safety car, or it'll bring out an early pit stop, that's for sure. Caution in Sector 3 again on lap 16. And that will be the Racing Bull of It's Domain, if I'm not mistaken. McSpeed just outside of DRS range from Sinead in front. Didn't get the helping dose coming down the front straightaway. Now, definitely will get it. McSpeed is faster this time around. Coming through Piratella within 1 second. Who's going to be more aggressive? Sinead looks pretty good. McSpeed not going all the way out to the exit curbing. Still stays within 0.7 of a second of the car in front. Papa Green, the Nomad, Maverick for Christ, SD Buki, Reese VRL rounds out your top 5. Sinead and McSpeed here battle for P6 and P7. And we're officially at the halfway point of this race. It's come and gone, actually. Maybe Indian, but I don't know how to do math. There it is, the tire compounds being chosen from the drivers, and the overspeed from McSpeed. And McSpeed, obviously on the hard compound tires, has a lot more life left. Reese VRL took a second pit stop of the night, comes out in P7 right behind Sinead and McSpeed. Now he has to do all the hard work in front of him. Oh no, and the Ferrari is off from 6th place, and Reese goes by. SD Buki and Maverick for Christ invert their position. Was there an issue for Maverick? He comes down into the pits. That's the problem. And Maverick headed out of pit lane into fourth place, but has a set of hards to carry him to the end of the event. Fastest lap of the race coming in at a 1:17.9. That'll be set by Papa Green. Positions gained on the left-hand side of your screen. One for SD Buki, Maverick for Christ, and McSpeed. 3 down for Reese, qualified into top 3. Now running in 6th position, but has nothing but gains for himself looking forward. Because other drivers may have to pit or on old hard compound tires. Manila Man comes into pit road out from 2nd place. Now pit stops taking place. Reese chases McSpeed. 2/10 back into Ravazza 1, locks up. And that'll really hurt his charge. Because Reese has to take these tires to the end. Another 12 laps left to go. His jaw is going to be chattering away from those brake lockups. And we all know once you lock up the tires once, they're going to try to lock up in that same spot again and again. Manila Man 7/10 back from Maverick for Christ. Here comes a move going into Tosa from the Alpine, forces the McLaren to give racing breath there. Reese side by side up the hill into Paratella, claims P5. Let's switch over to the battle between the Red Bull and the Haas. Again, drivers on different strategies now. Ravazza 1 looks like a little bit of understeer for Manila Man. But that's what he said he likes in a car. He likes to be able to chicken wing his elbows out, turn the wheel 90 degrees to get it to comply. I'm a driver who likes things the other way around, side by side through Bassa, now into the first chicane of Tamburello. Would be the Racing Bull, excuse me, the Red Bull leading the McLaren, the Haas. I'll get it right eventually. So Manila Man into the top 3 has 17 seconds to SD Buki, the Aston Martin. One God, 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits. The retirement from him. Maverick for Christ closes down the gap, stays within half a second to Manila. Battle for P3 will continue to rage on for the remaining 11 laps. Papa Green stays out on track. 19 seconds his advantage to SD Buki. After Christ gets the drag reduction system open, stays behind Manila Man. Into the braking zone, the drag reduction system automatically closes its flap to allow the driver to get the maximum downforce in the braking zone where necessary. A little bit of a kiss of the kitty litter there for Maverick as he tries to push coming out of Villeneuve. It's Dumain's battle with Ian Mack is here. The Williams right in front of It's Dumain, 3/10 the separation. Medium compound versus the hard compound tire on lap 23 comes through first corner, leading down into Variante Tamburello. The Racing Bull looks to the inside line, but doesn't act on it yet. Mounts the chicane. Comes through neat and tidy side by side, but it's got to conclude before we go down into the next chicane. The Racing Bull goes forward, and the Williams succeeds the position. Maverick for Christ, 4/10 back from Manila Man. Ian Mack and It's Dumaine close on track together as well. Still, their battle not concluded in Acqua Minerale. Detains and Gunslinger are out on track battling. 7/10 separate them, but Gunslinger has 6 seconds of penalties attached to his name. So that one shall conclude shortly. McSpeed losing the DRS to Reese VRL. The gap now at 9/10 of a second, was at about a little over 1 second. There it is, back up to that 1 second range. So Reese not getting the drag reduction system to open up for him. Switch over to McSpeed. Now the McLaren and the Alpine can race. Reese is in the lead of this championship, but not in the lead of the race. It'll be his teammate, Papa Green, who's in the lead and in charge. Pit stop there, I believe, from Apple CM. Ian Mack and It's Dumaine still within each other. Wowza, what a avoidance. Ian Mack has to get around It's Dumaine, who I presume went slowly through the chicane. And a big hit miss hit for Ian Mack as he dips wheels off at Ravazza 1. And that'll be a pit stop for It's Dumaine. Let's take a look at the pit stop cycle. So Dumaine taking his second of the night. Ian Mack maybe going for a one-stopper, but it will be an awful long run on these hard compound tires now. Papa Green doing the same. 13-lap old tires for Papa Green, 10-lap old for SD Buki. And fresh tires for the rest of the field, other than McSpeed, who's on 10-lap old tires. Ian Mack on the oldest hard compound tire might be the next one to come down pit road. 15 laps there. Unless he feels like he still has pace in these tires. I don't think that might be the case. It's Dumaine only a half second back from Sauce at Acqua Minerale and trying to close down the gap on the fresher rubber. It's a cut through the chicane, and that'll be a 3-second time penalty for him. But Souls has the same. Sinead side by side with Ian Mack, able to get by with relative ease before the Villeneuve chicane. Apple CM gets hit with another 3-second time penalty for cutting the track. trying to find the next closest gap. On track, it'll be It's Dumaine and Sulce. The Aston Martin in second place, partnered with the one in ninth position. It's Dumaine trying to dethrone them from the ninth and put them in 10th now. It's Dumaine having just come down pit road. Whoa, and wheels off into the gravel for It's Dumaine. Behind Sulce, it must be the dirty air finally getting to these cars. It's Dumaine on the charge in the top 10. Closing down on the Aston Martin here at Tosa. Looks to the inside line. Doesn't go for a move just yet. Closes down the gap within spitting distance of Sulce. Nowhere to attack here at Aqua Minerale. Up the hill, it's single file line leading down into the high chicane. Variante Alta. It could be a send, but no. The Racing Bull stays in single file line. Ian Mack falls back down into 10th. Sulce and It's Dumaine go up into 8th and 9th. McSpeed now battling with Reese. 4P5. DRS flap is open for It's Dumaine. Oh, and a big send from It's Dumaine, but a big send from the Aston Martin into Tosa will give It's Dumaine the advantage. McSpeed carrying a little bit too much of it through Piratella, trying to close down on Reese, probably talking to him in Discord right now. Lap 29 of 32, heading into the final stages of this race. 22-second advantage from Papa Green to SD Buki. I believe he's still on the same running hard compounds. Let's find out, folks. One stop to their name. 18-lap-old hard compound, 14-lap-old hards for SD Buki. $19 laps for Ian Mack. Holy Toledo. Gunslinger comes down into the pits, mounts a pair of softs, possibly trying to steal away the fast lap of the event. Now McSpeed 2.2 back from Reese. Both of them on very old hard compound tires. Will hopefully everybody make it to the end now. The leader on the penultimate lap. McSpeed versus Reese. McSpeed has a little bit more tire remaining. Now, can he use the advantage within his tires? McSpeed 1 second back. Needs to close it down to at least 1 second before we get down to the final run towards the first corner. McSpeed can't do it as he tries to push through Ravazza 2. He loses ground by kissing the kitty litter there. We are on the penultimate lap. Papa Green leading us to the final time. He's done it on pace and attrition. He's managed to get around the cars he pit behind, decided to not go for the second stop of the night. And I must say, it's one thing to be fast over one lap. It's another thing to be fast over 32 of them and be consistent enough over a very fast and flowy technical track like Imola. People say if you're fast at Barcelona, you're fast everywhere, especially as Shakedown has just commenced. But if you're fast at Imola, I believe you can be fast anywhere, as it has its slow sections, its very high speed sections, and a test of your car's ride height and suspension as you attack the curbs at the high chicane. Papa Green has led us to the line and to the checkered flag for 32 laps around the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari. It'll be Papa Green in P1. The Soul says, unlucky, my tire wear was dead. That is very unlucky. I am sorry, brother. SD Buki should cross the line in P2 and Manila Man in P3 for the Red Bull team. Said Sudan says, welcome to the club. Yeah, a couple drivers not having the best of luck tonight, especially through the high-speed corners. Tire wear, especially high at Imola, when you're talking about all the high-speed corners and high loads that you have to go through here. We'll get the results populated here in just a few moments' time, folks. But it's been Papa Green to command victory this time around and led the race and victory by 23.5 seconds when he crossed the line. Papa Green will enjoy his celebration. Let's head over to the Alpine wall and talk to the drivers who ended up taking the victory. Hello, is anybody there on the Alpine pit wall? And nothing heard. So we'll have to check in with them another way. Let's see if we can get them pulled into Discord. We will let the drivers enjoy their celebrations, of course. The champagne will flow. And we'll get the results populated here in just a few moments' time, folks. Race winner will be the Alpine. Fastest lap going to the Alpine as well. Driver of the day going to Aston Martin. Most overtakes going to Gunslinger. Cleanest driver going to Ian Mack in the Williams. Papa Green took the big fat W. SD Buki in second place. Manila Man in P3. Maverick for Christ in P4. Reese in P5. McSpeed in P6. Sinead in P7. It's Dumaine in 8th. Detains in 9th. Ian Mack in 10th. Gunslinger in 11th. Setsu in 12th. Set Apple in 13th. And Sulce in 14th. Head over to the intermission screen, folks, and we'll go ahead and grab our race winners for their interview. Hello, everybody.
I almost fucking T-boned you. I was like,
oh, I know. I tried to go off the track,
swimming.
bro. It was constant dirty air. The front, oddly, like the front tires are overheating. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. What pressure did you have them on?
29 flat.
All right.
Because I was behind Maverick for like
a
hot minute, and freaking it just destroyed the front tires.
Dude.
Yo, my rear was gonna
I think I had them on 28, I think.
Oops.
Or 28.5.
Yeah, 18 lap hards at the end of the day. Crazy.
Yeah, man.
Crazy stints you guys were doing at the very end there.
Yeah,
22 how long was my last one? 15?
Who is that? Ian Mack?
Reese?
Reese, I think you were up there 15 laps or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I was on 21 laps.
What was mine at? My very last one?
Who?
Detains. I was on
Detains,
hards.
I didn't notice.
I think I was like close up there too, like 14.
I know Ian Mack had the oldest set of hard tires out there. That was crazy.
I was one lap younger than his, and that was it.
Damn. My boy One God, what is going on?
Yeah, I put it
Is
on,
it his like connection or something?
I put it on lap 15 to get off the mediums. I think it was like 2 laps too late.
Lap 9.
I put it on 14 and it was pushing it on the mediums.
I went to team chat because I thought One God was going in there and nobody went in there. I was all alone.
Oh, that was a pretty silent race then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have stayed in
it was
casual.
pretty
I don't know
chill.
if anyone was in casual.
It's pretty chill, right?
Yeah, it was a very chill race. Not a single safety car.
That was really good for no safety car. Like,
yeah.
Manila, where were you at? Hot no fucking wing hero.
Dude, his understeer like disappeared.
Fucking Bookie got me with his one stop, bro.
Yeah. Once he goes, I thought, got ya.
Yeah, I saw you in front 20 seconds ahead. I was like, what the fuck did this guy do, bro?
Just taking it easy.
Good racer.
Hiding my time.
I'm just glad this track is done.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm completely okay with P5.
Yeah, to be honest, I would have been happy with P3 or 4. I'm just holding on, looking at the times, and they're getting closer and closer and closer, and I'm like, what's in the lap count? What's in the time? What's in the lap count?
I'm just saying, you guys, they're all getting way
you.
better though, because like when blue markers are coming, you guys are getting off, and I saw a lot of people racing tight, and you guys were racing like clean as hell compared to where we first were at.
Yeah. Saw that as well.
Well, there's no collisions for the blue markers, right? That's why I didn't get out of the way, because there was no collisions anyway.
No, there's not, but people were still getting out of the way, so it's like everyone's starting to catch on, you know?
Oh yeah. I knew the collisions weren't on, so I might have not gotten out of the way just because I knew that. But if I knew they were on, I would have gotten out of the way.
No, you guys still did really good. Like it was really clean. A lot of racing, like close. I don't know if you guys seen it, but
it's all right. But sometimes when your car's ghosted and you're inside it, you kind of lose your.
You can't see where you're at.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually really happy with that race.
Bookie, so.
I kept saying yellow flag.
I was waiting for Bookie to put in a wall.
Yeah.
No, I think I was opening like.
Bro, it was crazy.
Jesus.
We were running probably the highest downforce out of everybody.
Yeah.
I was running 35-30, I think it was.
No, we were running 41 and something.
No, 35.
And the cars were still pretty quick in the straights, but we made up all the time in the corners.
Yeah,
You
like,
look at my Twitch.
but I was catching Manila like crazy through that middle sector when he passed me.
Yeah, it was a fun one.
Yeah, I can't defend on Papa Green. Hell no.
No, it's hard to defend with him. He's a fucking animal.
Yeah.
It's his
And the
heck.
pressure he gives me, fuck, bro.
Any incidents? Anybody?
No,
Not
not
a
for me.
single
couple yellow
one that I
flags, and that was about
saw.
it.
Awesome.
What'd you see?
What's our next track?
You mean Stewart incidents?
I'll find out. Let's see what the next track is.
All right, guys, I'm going to close out the stream. Have a good night.
Spain, isn't it?
See you in a minute.
All right, see ya.
Well, that's going to close things out for us here with Vortex Racing League. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's been a pleasure to be your host. I am Sagar Bakshi, a.k.a. The Real High, and we'll catch you next week, same time, same place. Do it all over again. We'll catch you at the Vortex Racing League on next Saturday at 4:30 Pacific Standard Time. Thank you very much again for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. But most importantly, have a great night, everybody. And remember, please stay safe out there. Take care.
Came in and you're looking like a sign of grace. I know, but I can never match your name to face. My fault, I didn't notice it was out of place. You painted fairy tales on the wall. Calling to the better of the halves of me. Please show me just a little bit of honesty. I hope I got a heart that I can salvage, but it's getting harder now to recall. I know well, but let out both try. You could have anything you wanted it all for your fool's gold. And I know well by deaf and half blind, you could get anything you wanted. Yeah, I would have handed it all over, falling for you. Came in and you're looking like a sign of grace. I know, but I can never match your name to face my fault. But when I noticed it was far too late,